So, good morning, my esteemed viewers. My name is Reverend Father Dr. Peter Wachira from the Catholic Diocese of Nyeri. I've just graduated from this university with a doctoral degree in clinical psychology, and therefore I'm a very proud student of this university, a university with a difference. And I'm here to talk about the feeling or the emotion of anger. By definition, Charles Spivak defines anger as an emotional state which varies from intense frustration to intense fury or rage. Anger as an emotion is normal for us human beings, and therefore we know what anger is. We all have felt it at some point in our lives. When you go through the emotion of anger, you are likely to experience some changes in your physiology and in your biology. So there will be physiological changes or biological changes. For example, when you have anger, your heart is likely to beat very fast. Your blood pressure will go up. You may also experience changes in your hormones. For example, energy hormones like adrenaline and noradrenaline. These emotions may also go up. Now, it's good to understand the causes of your anger. And a very fundamental question that you need to ask yourself is, where is my anger coming from? It's only when you're able to address the root cause of anger can you now be in a position to address it effectively. Anger can be caused by external events and internal events. Events are things that happen to you. For instance, some of the external events that may trigger anger in you could be rubbing shoulders with your coworker, or maybe a supervisor. Other instances of anger may include being in a traffic jam, or maybe your flight has been cancelled. So those are instances where you experience anger. Anger can also be brought about by internal factors. For example, worry. Maybe you're going through stress, or even you are dealing with your personal problems, and therefore you may end up developing anger in yourself. However, the good news is that anger is a normal human emotion. It's normal to feel anger. It's normal to experience anger. It's normal to feel angry. But then we need to recognize that there are two kinds of anger. We have constructive anger and destructive anger. Anger can be constructive if it helps you to rectify or even correct a situation. Anger can be destructive if it causes injury or harm to another person. Therefore, there's need to be aware of when you are feeling angry and when your anger is going out of proportion. And therefore, we even talk about anger management. When anger causes problems for you and for others in your life, to a point where it causes harm or injury to the other person, then there's need to check on your anger and to control your anger. When you feel angry, your anger can be channeled constructively. For instance, consider a father whose child has gone astray. A good father will do all that he can to bring back the child to a normal and socially acceptable behavior. And therefore, this good father may kill a child in order to bring back the child to normal behavior. In other words, to rectify that behavior, to correct that behavior. And therefore, it's normal for a mother or a father to feel angry about the child's behavior. But then anger can be destructive if it leads one to cause harm or injury to the person. We have had instances where an individual, a person, got angry and even killed a brother, a mother, or even a father. Of course, there's something we call anger displacement. When the object of anger is unreachable. Maybe you had an argument with a boss and you felt enraged. But because your boss is a very huge figure, you feel angry towards him. But because he is unreachable, when you go home with that anger, you are likely to displace your anger onto your wife, onto your child, or any other safer target. That's called anger displacement. And at times, that kind of behavior or action followed by anger can be disastrous or even injurious or even harmful to that other person in your life. And therefore, it's always good to be aware of when you are becoming angry and when your anger is getting out of control. Although anger is displayed outwardly, other emotions may be hidden beneath the feeling of anger. Such emotions may include sadness, fear, or even guilt. And these are the feelings that are beneath the surface of your anger are likely to make you feel very vulnerable. And therefore, it's also good to explore with yourself what are other underlying feelings and emotions that put you at risk of maybe developing other disturbing feelings and emotions. Now, it's good to explore what is beneath the surface in order for you to gain insight into your anger or the anger that you experience. And this will help you to seek timely help in order to help you manage your anger effectively. For example, a person may realize that their anger is fueled by jealousy. Maybe jealousy because your neighbor or maybe a friend appears to be progressing life, and comparatively you might seem to be lagging behind. You might also realize that your anger is caused by maybe work experience, or maybe by a co-worker, or maybe by a traumatic life experience you went through. Understanding the causes of your anger may go a long way into helping you deal with it effectively, because then you'll be dealing with the root cause of your anger. There's need now to identify and underline your hidden emotions. And then a number of questions that you need to ask yourself in order to gain insight into your anger. And maybe the first question you may need to ask yourself is to imagine a friend who is facing a situation that is similar to the one that you're experiencing. A situation similar to the one that is causing your anger. And in doing that, you need to ask yourself, what emotions do you think they might feel other than anger? Another discursive question would be, in your family or in your culture, what emotions do people experience? And how do they express their emotions, and especially the emotion of anger? What emotions do they keep to themselves? Because anger can also be culture sensitive. And anger, the expression of anger, varies from culture to culture. And therefore, it's good to know, to be aware of how your culture, how emotions are expressed in your culture. That's important. Another discursive question would be to imagine a person who handles difficult emotions such as sadness, fear, or guilt, or even hurt effectively. How do they show these emotions? How do they express them? And what do they do to cope with them? Because you can always borrow a leaf from a neighbor who copes effectively with their anger. It might also be good to know that anger can also be used as a facade or even as a mask for other underlying emotions. And especially those emotions that we've talked about that may make a person more vulnerable and not be able to manage their anger effectively. So anger is sometimes used as a mask emotion, such that someone with anger is also feeling hurt, is also feeling shame and guilt inside of themselves. So I would like you to think of a situation in the past when you felt angry and use that anger to mask other emotions, to conceal another emotion or a feeling that you're experiencing. Now, these questions will help you now to gain insight to your anger and to know the kind of help and where that help can be gotten from in order for you to cope with anger effectively. Thank you, and I wish you the very best there is in life, even as you roll back on your resources to help you channel the energy of anger effectively and constructively. May God help you to keep your anger within limits so that it does not spill over into causing problems for you and for others in your life, and especially those in whose midst you live. May God bless you. May He encourage you. May He support you.